Hi everyone, I'm Simon from Simon Security Expert, and on today's video I'm going to be showing you just how to decide exactly what security equipment you need in order to protect your home or business. This is really handy information to have, even if you're getting a professional installer like myself to fit the system, or you're looking for a DIY setup, which if you are, I've got something for you too, the Guardfather Security System, my own DIY security system that's being released imminently, where you can go onto the website, choose exactly what it is you want, check out, get it delivered to your home, and then you can set it up from there and take control of your own security. I'll leave the link for the waiting list in the description. We're going live in the next 1 to 2 weeks, so if you're watching this video after that, it'll be the website in the description instead. But something you might be wondering about is, how do you actually decide exactly what equipment you want that's going into your property? Well, what I've got here is a floor plan of a downstairs and an upstairs. I'm going to bring the camera around here and we're going to run through it together so you can see exactly what it is that a security engineer like myself is looking for when we come to give you a quote on your property. Now, this is some general information. You might want to make a couple of edits to your own house, whether you might want to put an extra sensor here or take a sensor away from there, but it'll give you a really good idea of what you need to know so you know exactly what you're looking for with your security. So let's have a look at it. Let's go. Okay guys, here we go. I'm sure you're looking at this thinking, wow, what an amazing house this is. Only joking, it's a completely average house. It's actually, in fact, a layout of my own house, or at least what my house used to look like on the layout. It's since been changed a little bit, but this is what it was like when I bought it. So I thought it'd be a really good one to just run over so you can see exactly how I would decide what equipment goes where. So this is the ground floor, or if you're an American, you'd call it the first floor because they love to confuse people. But here you go. As you walk in from the front door here, you come into the hall, you've got the kitchen, utility, dining room, and here, importantly, you've got your internet router. So what I'm going to do for this example is I'm going to run it off as if we're installing a Guardfather security system, just to make it easy and straightforward, but the process is very similar regardless of what alarm system you are putting into your house. To begin, you've got to decide where your control panel is going. So a perfect spot for the control panel will be next to the internet router. So you'd put the CPU just there. You could plug it into there, and then your Ethernet cable could go directly into your router, and your control panel, which is the brains of the system, is fully installed. So let's now move on to our devices. Here we've got the front door. Now we want an item to give us an entrance route. So when we come into the property, we want an entrance tone to start to let us know to unset it. So for your front door, you would have a contact on here, also known as an opening contact, a door contact, or a window contact. They're all the same things. You'd have a contact on your front door. Now you move into the hallway. You ideally want a sensor in the hallway because it's going to trigger your entry and exit route when you say come down the stairs in the morning after you've had the system set on a nighttime set. So for this one, we'd want a motion sensor in the hallway. So what we do is just here, PIR, passive infrared motion sensor. So then we go into our lounge. We want a sensor in our lounge to protect our lounge. There are windows, say window here, window here. It's just, I haven't drawn them in for the floor plan, but they are here. So we want to protect our lounge area with a motion sensor. So just here, these are all wireless, by the way. PIR. So we've got a control panel now. We've got a front door contact. We've got a motion sensor covering the hall. And we've got a motion sensor covering the lounge. Now, we'll go over into our dining room, where we'll just put into the corner there a PIR, covering the dining room and protecting that area too, because we have actually got a door on the dining room here as well. This is where it can get a bit dependent on the individual. Some people might want to put an opening contact on that door there as well. That's where it comes down to exactly what it is you're looking for, but we're going to go over a bit of a generic style at the moment, and then I can just go through some bits and bobs for you and show you what some people might want as a few extras here and there. So then we come into our kitchen area, and we'll want a motion sensor in there, in the corner, and now our kitchen is protected. Now we have our utility space here, with a door going into the back garden. So in our utility space, we'll put a motion sensor in the corner, just here. PIR. So importantly, what we've got here There's motion sensors covering the rooms, and we've got a door contact on the front door. Now, when you're positioning your motion sensors, it's always ideal if you can make sure one motion sensor isn't looking into another room. So if you look actually where we put our motion sensor, say for the lounge or for the dining room, it's looking away from the entrance doorway. And what I mean by that is you don't really want your PIR being over here that looks down here and can see through the entrance door. Because if you leave that door open, you don't want to be running around closing every door in your house every time you leave. If that door's left open, when you come through the front door, if it sees you in the lounge, if it looks through the door and sees you there, it's going to trigger the alarm. So it would mean you'd have to put an entry and exit tone on the lounge sensor as well, which you don't really want. You'd want that as an instant alarm, because if someone came in through the window, you want it to go off as an immediate alarm. It doesn't need to be an entry and exit zone. So try to make sure it's not looking into an entry and exit area. Dining room here, just in the top corner, just there, looking into the dining room only. That's the best way to think about it. Just have it so it's just seeing that room only if you can. Kitchen PIR, we've got it in the corner here, protecting the kitchen. Utility PIR, protecting the utility. Now, let's go to our top floor. Look at this masterpiece. What do you think about my my floor plan, by the way, guys? I'm actually made up with how it came out. So, first floor, or for the US, second floor. Now, we come up the stairs. This is where I am now, in the content room. Upstairs, what we want is a sensor on the landing. So we can just go here into the corner of the landing and put in a PIR, a motion sensor into there. This is in case someone breaks in upstairs. You want to make sure that it's going to trigger the alarm system in some way. You know, if they go into a bedroom and then come through onto the landing or anything like that. Now, in my house, there are no flat roofs on the back, you know, where someone could jump onto and then get into a window. Therefore, a PIR upstairs is more than sufficient. But if you've got, let's say, for instance, a big conservatory on the back here, and you've got a window here and maybe a window here that someone could theoretically get access to if they came in through on top of the conservatory that we've imagined we've got here, you might want to put a window contact, you know, an opening contact on this window here and this window here, meaning if someone tried to break in those windows when the system's set, you're going to get off into an immediate alarm. So it just means that it would pick them up a lot earlier if they actually tried to break in through these ways, if it was vulnerable, rather than coming through and only getting picked up once they got to the landing. Now you might think, well, I don't want one on the landing because when I go to bed, I don't want that sensor picking me up. Don't worry, on the Guardfather Security System and every other security system, you can do what's called a nighttime set, and it'll automatically emit the landing. It's just a different button on your app or the keypad. So in this case, all we need is one upstairs. If you've got any reason why you might want more, then of course you can put them in. Maybe you want a motion sensor in the master bedroom or a bedroom over here. I wouldn't advise putting a motion sensor in a bathroom. Just a contact on the window would be absolutely fine, you know, because of the steam. But realistically, you don't often need a great deal upstairs. It comes down to personal preference. So if we just go back down here to the front, there's a couple of things we're missing off here, okay? What we'll want in the hallway here as well is a keypad. You can use this to set and unset your system. You know, it's on the entrance route, so it's nice and easy and accessible to get to when you're coming into the house or when you're leaving. You'll also be able to use the app, of course, but it's handy to have an extra device in case, say, your phone runs out of battery and you come in and you don't have a way to unset the alarm. It's great to have a keypad or a fob or something like that to give you an extra option to unset it. And on the front of the property, what we would have here is a siren or a sounder, an external siren, an external sounder you could have here. And if you wanted to, you could also have one in the back. Some people like having them on the front and the back of the property so that if someone is attempting to break in, then it's going to be really loud, whether the front or the back of the house, they're going to hear the alarm blasting and going off. And say, for instance, you might want an external sensor. We have this on the Guardfather Security System where you have a motion sensor that is outside. No, it doesn't pick up animals or anything like that. It's really reliable. Mine's currently set right now. I get loads of wildlife in my garden, and this will protect your garden. So if someone tried to come to your house, it's actually going to pick them up and stop them, and the alarm's going to be going off, and you're going to be notified on the app way before they get anywhere near the house in order to break in. So that's something that might be personal. Some people might want one outside, some people might not. But this should give you a really general overview of what you're looking for when it comes to deciding exactly what it is you want on your own control panel system. Hope that's been clear enough, guys. Obviously, let me know if you've got any questions about it. And there you go, guys. As simple as that, a quick and easy run through of exactly how to decide what you want for your own security system. Like I said, the Guardfather Security System waiting list or website is in the description. If you do sign up to the waiting list, you'll get a 10% discount code when the system launches. But whether you choose my system or whether you choose a different system, whether you choose a professional installer, no problem at all. I'm just happy that people are taking charge of their own security. And if you want any more information or you want any other help with your own security systems, doesn't matter what type it is, I'm happy to help. Put a question in the comments. I'll always respond to it. See you on the next one, guys. Thanks for watching.